Charleston area coach by Mike Anheuser. His assistants are Dusty Hedock and John Wilson. The head trainer is Bobby Weiser.
Live from Charleston, South Carolina for tonight's USL match as the Charleston Battery get set to host their oldest rival, the Richmond Kickers, for the first time this season at MUSC Health Stadium. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth for tonight's match. My name's Poppy Miller. I'll be your host alongside me, Christian Michener. Christian, the Battery have only lost 3 games so far this season. The last time they lost was at City Stadium against the Kickers. They'll be looking to find all 3 points tonight, and one of the players that will be looking to do so, it's striker Brian Shriver.
Now, Brian Shriver is so important to the Richmond Kickers attack. You see him here absolutely scoring a glorious free kick. He scores goals in all types of ways. The Battery will really have to keep him under tabs tonight as he scores goals through the run of play and certainly over a dead ball like you see here.
He leads the Richmond Kickers in goals and assists with 6 on the season. And like you said, Christian, the Battery backline are going to have their work cut out for them, especially if he gets a chance over the dead ball. Well, for Mike Anhauser's side, the veteran anchor of the backline and USL Team of the Week nominee, it's captain Taylor Mueller.
And Taylor Mueller is an integral part of the Charleston Battery backline, not only in his 1v1 defending, but certainly in his leadership ability. He's Mr. Battery. They'll have to lean on him tonight to make sure that they can keep him at bay.
Taylor Mueller currently ranks 4th in all-time appearances and really is the unsung hero of this side, and also has 2 assists on the season, so keep your eye on him getting into the attack as well. Well, I managed to catch up with him earlier this week to preview tonight's match.
Set pieces are going to be massive, as they always are in every game. I mean, down here it's even more important because your mind goes a little bit with the heat, so staying tuned in, staying with your mark, recognizing every situation. But I think patience is going to be a big one, and then once we get 1 or 2 maybe, it'll open up even more, and we've just got to stay organized, keep the ball too.
Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium for tonight's USL match, the 64th meeting between these old rivals. Poppy Miller alongside Christian Michener. Thank you for joining us for tonight's game wherever you are. Well, we are minutes away from kickoff, so let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups presented by Banner. Well, for the Kickers, DC United loanee Travis Warren gets the start between the sticks. Yearwood, Williams, Shinovsky and Thompson across the back four. The trio in the middle, Bain, Troyer and Gonzalez. Shriver, the middle man up top, we mentioned him in the pre-game, cushioned by Amira and Fernando. Well, for Mike Anhauser's side, Joe Kuzminski gets the nod in goal as he looks for his 8th shutout tonight. Captain Taylor Mueller, the anchor of the 3-man back line. Tar Brian Unger and Angelo Kelly will hold down the middle of the park. Van Schaik out on the left, Woodbine on the right, and the trio up top tonight, leading goal scorer in the East, joined by Nico Rittmeyer and Gordon Wild. Well, we are almost away from MUSC Health Stadium. The Battery have only lost 1 match at home so far. Richmond, of course, still looking for their first win on the road tonight. A big night for them, Christian, if they want to stay in playoff contentions.
Yeah, that's right, Poppy. Charleston Battery have been in great form, picking up points on the road and at home, and it's really been about consistency for the Battery. For the Richmond Kickers, it's been the absolute opposite. It's been just an inconsistent performance night in and night out. They're going to need to really put their feet on the ground if they want to try and start picking up points as we make a playoff run.
And of course, we mentioned in the pregame last time the Battery lost was at City Stadium against the Kickers, so a bit of unfinished business for the home side.
Yeah, that loss will still sting. It was a while ago, but the Battery players won't forget that, and they'll want to right the ship and put 3 points on the board this evening.
Troyer on the ball, the native of Columbia, South Carolina, USC product. Played every single minute of every match his senior season and is in his 3rd season with the Kickers, who have also had a coaching changeover earlier this season that's got to play a big influence in just how the team dynamics are.
Yeah, it really does, Poppy. You know, those coaching changes can go one of 2 ways. It can sort of ignite the team and get the team moving in the right direction, or you can get kind of what you've seen here this season for them, which is a little bit of inconsistency and you know, Coach Bulow trying to put his stamp on the program and make sure that he can get his boys playing football the way he sees it.
And of course, Lee Cowlishaw still a huge part of the club as he is Director of Soccer Operations. So still has a lot to do, of course, with the team. Leland Archer on the ball, the College of Charleston product, somebody that you've seen play quite a few times, Christian.
Yeah, I've seen Leland play quite a bit over the years with the Cougars and had a phenomenal career at the collegiate level and has certainly started off his professional career on the right foot, and he'll need to put in a good shift tonight for the Battery to keep Shriver at bay.
Part of the 3-man back line for Mike Anhauser, of course, anchored by the captain, Taylor Mueller, who's been on superb form as the Battery tonight will look for their 9th USL clean sheet. Here he is on the ball, 4th in all-time appearances for the club. And they've been really confident just playing it around the back line and patience in the build-up this season.
Yeah, that's a testament to the work they've done in training and certainly their comfort level on the ball. Early moments like this in a match, it's good to have your team on the ball, trying to dictate the pace of the game and to see where you may think that holes and spaces may open up as the game moves on.
Fantastic night for some soccer here in Charleston, South Carolina. A nice cool breeze, but still very, very warm conditions. 87 degrees at kickoff, and we can expect to see a hydration break just in the middle of this half before we leave for halftime. And sometimes just that sip of water can really change how you're feeling out there.
Yeah, you just need to sort of cleanse the palate and get it moving again, and gives you just a second or two to maybe organize the troops as a coach. And so sometimes you'll see changes coming out of that. Even in the 20th, 22nd minute, you may see some of that.
Hackshaw looking for Van Schaik, runs through to Travis Warrer. Atula Guerra, though, hanging on that last defender, and he is going to be one to keep an eye on tonight. Taylor Mueller hooks it away to Rittmeyer, wins the throw. Atula Guerra, of course, leads the Eastern Conference with 11 goals on the season so far and is really having a standout year.
He really is, Poppy. He's been fantastic on the attacking side of the ball and somebody the Battery has really leaned on considerably this season for goals and assists, and the Battery will certainly need him firing on all cylinders.
It's Gonzalez as the Kickers enjoy a bit of possession. Fernando through the middle, looking to get the shot off at the top of the box. Kelly forces him out wide, and it's away from Archer in the box. All the way back, Travis Warrer way off his line. Up to Troyer. Troyer, such a key part of this side, drifting into the back line, but really holding it down in the middle of the park.
That's right. That's somebody they really want on the ball as much as possible. He sort of starts their attack from the back line. Fantastic player on the ball. And, you know, in these moments, you get a chance to see where a team will set up, where's their pressure going to be. The Richmond kickers right now are starting to get a feel of the ball a little bit more. The battery won't want to clamp that down.
Rittmeyer in the middle, falls through for Archer. Out wide to the MLS and Jamaican veteran O'Brien Woodbine, who chips one forward looking for Guerra, and safety first at the back.
And those balls are important, even it's a longer ball. It starts to stretch the other team out. You can see what they're made of in terms of back to the play and chasing the ball towards goal.
Well, we know O'Brien Woodbine's got a very long throw on him, so keep your eye in the box. He goes short this time, though, and well read on the far side by Yearwood. Just in your camera sight there were some fans from Richmond that have made the trip down. So a quick welcome to anybody in Richmond joining us for tonight's broadcast. Van Schaik through to Rittmeyer in the box. Good combination on the near side. Patience from the battery, it's Anunga. Looking for Woodbine, offside, but very, very close. O'Brien Woodbine, another one that's come into fantastic form this season after spending the first half of the season out with an injury. He's really found his feet and his position out on the far side on the flanks.
Yeah, he has, and it's not easy to start off the season injured in the early parts of that. You know, he's really come in and had a real consistent look at training, and is giving Coach Anhauser a great shift on the right side.
Here he is on the ball now, looking to get one into the box, goes back to Kelly. Again, another patient build-up from the battery. The box is full. Finds Archer. The switch across the field is there. Hackshaw on this near side, the Trinidad and Tobago international. Drops one into Van Schaik, looking for Guerra. Is it a dummy through? Rittmeyer's there. Well read by Travis Warrer. Travis Warrer, of course, with so much experience. The DC United loanee has been back and forth between the two sides since 2015.
Poppy, this is where the battery has really picked up goals this season, is in their high press. They step players forward, and they really put the visitors there under a lot of pressure. They may pick up an early corner kick. It's just gone over the line for a goal kick.
And especially, as to your point, Christian, especially at the top of the box, their patience. And that'll be something that Richmond don't want to give up tonight. Any space for Atula Guerra and Gordon Wild at the top of that box. Hackshaw shields one out. Does well to win the throw-in on this near side. Gets us back underway quickly. Van Schaik. Into Anunga, the pressure is on from Shriver. Brian Shriver, we mentioned him in the pre-game, will captain the side tonight. Richmond, of course, in the all-white. And the battery in their home stripe, black and yellow. Woodbine in the middle of the park. And the field in great condition. A natural grass surface, which was a treat for a lot of the teams in this league, but really can play an influence in how the game unfolds.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's a fantastic service here at MUSC Health Stadium. It's not everywhere you go you get to play on a pitch like this, and somewhere you play on AstroTurf, and that can certainly change the game.
Well, Richmond 14th in the Eastern Conference at the minute, and they really have got to pick up some points to keep their playoff contentions alive, but have got a tricky schedule coming up, Christian.
They do. Richmond doesn't have it easy. They'll want to start on the right foot this evening to try and pick up points, but 10 of their next 16 matches on the road. It will not be an easy task for the kickers to pick up points down the stretch.
The next match being on Wednesday against the Riverhounds, and the Battery will head away to take on state rivals North Carolina FC next Saturday. Both teams looking to enjoy a good spell of possession in this early going. Fernando in the middle. Dispossessed, the Battery can pick it up. Rittmeyer. Keep your eye on the trio up top. They like to switch sides. And now it's Richmond's turn for an attack. Imura on the far side. The pressure is there from Archer. Comes out on top. Across the middle to Fernando. Can he get the strike away? Just wide of the target.
I think the Battery were just a little guilty of not really putting a ton of pressure on the ball within shooting range. You can see the highlight here as it comes back. Little combination at the top of the box. Mura is just able to sort of run free. Doesn't quite get all of it. He'll want to have that one back, no doubt.
Joe Kuzminski will want his back line to step a bit higher than that. Imura, very dangerous over the ball at the top of the box. A 27-year-old Japanese veteran. Joined Richmond in 2015. Last season, played in 23 matches. Has already appeared in 18 this season. Tonight being his 19th. A real key link to the Richmond side. Mueller wins the set. It's out wide to Woodbine. Chip ball forward. Looks like Atula is offside. Again, hanging on that last defender, and that's what he likes to do, Christian, just creep through.
That's right. He's, Tula's just trying to figure out right now what that line is like, how much pace the back line has that he's got to deal with, and he was just a nick offside there. He'll just need to hold that run a split second longer.
Shinosky across to Troyer. Troyer makes Warra trek across, and he just about keeps that in bounds, but that is a risky one, especially on the far side with Gordon Wild on your heels.
That's testing your goalkeeper's pace right there off the bat. It's not a natural position for the goalkeeper to be in. Does a good job to step out and save the corner kick and give the Battery a deep throw.
It looks like Troyer's job tonight is to keep on Atula. Woodbine, we mentioned he has the long throw. There's the Richmond fans behind him that have made the trip down to Charleston, South Carolina. It's going to be O'Brien, Woodbine to get us back underway. Good ball into the box, heads away by Troyer. Anunga is there, but recycled by Mueller. Woodbine into Wild. Good press from Richmond, forces them back to Kuzminski. Joe Kuzminski, the hero in Pittsburgh last weekend, saved a PK, and it was Atula that could nick the goal in the 88th minute.
Yeah, it was an amazing win for the Battery on the road. Fantastic save from Kuzminski on that PK to preserve the victory.
Pumps them up to third in the Eastern Conference. Of course, Louisville played earlier today and picked up the points, putting them just down by one. Of course, the Battery have the capability to get back into second place after tonight if they can pick up the 3 points. Yeah,
Poppy, it's so tight at the top of the table right now that every point will make the difference as they make the turn into August and hitting the home stretch. Certainly playing at home, the feeling is that you have to pick up 3 points, so I'm sure that's what's on the Battery's mind this evening.
And like we said, the Battery have only lost one game at home so far this season, and it was the very first game of the year against FC Cincinnati. And really have had that fantastic home form, but are picking up good form on the road again. Imura on the far side. Across at the top of the box is Bain. Invites Shinosky forward. And Shakes there with the press. Bain recycles. Williams, the two centre backs, keeping the possession, and now Van Schaik comes through on top. The referee saw too much in that jump from Van Schaik.
Yeah, just stretching his leg out there. The ball got away from him. Just whistled for the foul. Battery will have to regroup. As you can see here, it takes a little bit of a long touch. Honestly, not a whole lot in it, but enough to get the ball going the other way.
Here's Rittmeyer, he's in the box. Can he get the shot away? It's past Warra in the back of the net. 1-0 Charleston Battery, Nico Rittmeyer.
What a calm and cool finish from Rittmeyer.
Nico Rittmeyer with his very first goal of the season. A fantastic ball threaded through by O'Brien Woodbine. And your first Baker Roofing goal of the night goes to the College of Charleston product. Christian, again, somebody that you've seen a lot of.
Absolutely, and it's just cool as you like. Nico Rittmeyer there with an excellent touch on a great ball from O'Brien Woodbine to get his touch forward, and really in those situations you've got to hit the target. He does well to put the ball on frame and give the battery an early lead.
Nico Rittmeyer with his first goal of the season. Cool, calm and collected, slotted into the right-hand corner, ground ball. 1-0 Charleston, and now could this have to force Richmond to come out?
Yeah, and it's an early goal, and Richmond certainly will not want to see that ball rolling into the back of the net. They'll have to take stock of what's left over the next 75 minutes, but plenty of time left in this one, Poppy.
Well, Nico Rittmeyer, his second season with the Battery after graduating from College of Charleston. Just how much confidence does that give a player to get their first goal?
It does wonders. Really, he's taken an excellent touch and buried the ball in the back of the net, and he'll know that there's not a seal over the goal any longer. He's sort of broken that seal, and should give him the confidence going forward to bang a few more in.
Nico Rittmeyer really has relished these starting opportunities he's picked up this season for Mike Anhauser. Just appeared 13 times last season and already having a fantastic year and so much confidence, and that'll just add to it.
Yeah, I think he just really had a great off-season. You know, the player's first season in professional soccer can be a real learning experience, and Nico has gone off in the off-season and worked his tail off. And he's had a fantastic 2018. He's a real crafty player with a lot of pace and strength. And certainly now you can see he can put the ball in the back of the net. That's good things for the Battery.
Well, that's one player with their first professional goal tonight. The Battery 1-0 up here at MUSC Health Stadium in the 17th minute. Fans, let me remind you that Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportsamerica.com and receive free shipping on orders over $50. Woodbine on the far side looking for Gordon Wild. Keep your eye on that duo tonight. Williams lays one across to Troyer. Battery's line of confrontation very deep in the visitors' half, not allowing them much time on the ball at all. Thompson looking to feed one through to the middle, but Kelly can pick it up and get the possession back for the Battery.
And really, that's just too sloppy from Thompson there, as his team had sort of built their way into the attack and needed to really keep possession of that ball.
Williams. The Battery have dropped off into their own half. Fernando. He's got Shriver up top with him. Can he find him? Goes out wide to Imura. Imura keeps it in on the far side. Lays one off to Yearwood, who takes a strike over the top of the crossbar. No worries that for Joe Kuzminski.
Yeah, and a lot of people would say any shot is a good shot. I'm not sure that was a great decision there from Yearwood. He'll want that one back and want to hit that with a little bit more pace and on frame.
Joe Kuzminski, the UAB product, his second season with the Battery. Another one that's relished start time this season for Mike Anhauser.
Joe's been amazing in goal this year and certainly playing with a lot of confidence, and saving PKs will do that for you, I think. And the Battery have really been solid defensively all season. It's a big reason why they're near the top of the table.
Battery had a formation change earlier on this season that has just found them all the success, transitioning into the three-man back line. And of course, Joe Kuzminski transitioning into goal when the change in formation happened, and the team just playing with so much confidence, Christian.
They do. They just have a lot of flexibility within the system, and players that can play in different roles. And so, you know, certainly in a system like this, you need a goalkeeper who's good with his feet and confident with the ball, and Joe certainly brings that.
Now Richmond looking to get on the attack. The long ball there Amura will trot across to collect and shielded out by Archer. Well composed from the fullback.
You can see Richmond is certainly understands the battery's back three and what problems it could cause to put balls into the spaces, into the corners where you typically have an outside back. The battery do not, playing with this sort of 3 center back system. And so they'll test. That'll be something to look at all evening to see if they can have some success in those areas.
You just saw Charleston Battery head coach Mike Anhauser on your screens below us, who joined the Battery as a player in 1994 before transitioning into a coaching role 6 seasons later, and soon will be celebrating his 25 years at the club, Christian. I know we're going to talk a bit about it at halftime, but what an achievement that is.
Yeah, Mike Anhauser is sort of all Battery. It's hard to mention the Charleston Battery without mentioning his name, certainly as a player, and what he's done as a coach has been tremendous. And consistently for 25 years, and hats off, because it's been an amazing career so far.
Absolutely, and having a fantastic season again this year with the club. Right now, Richmond on the attack. Yearwood into the box. It's Amura, away by Mueller, and Woodbine looking for the clearance. A bit of an awkward one, that out the back.
Yeah, and the Battery will have to regroup here and make sure that there's no white shirts getting free. All hands on deck.
Yearwood goes back to Troyer. Troyer looking for the space, comes across to Shinosky. Rittmeyer there with the press. Travis Warrer showing his experience way off his line, pushing his team forward. It's Williams. Out to Yearwood. Yearwood comes to the kickers after spending the last 2 seasons with Charlotte Independence, where he's had over 22 appearances for the club. Makes his 11th start for the kickers tonight. Of course, Alex Lee is suspended for this game and will be for the next 2 matches. So a couple of changes to the back line.
Yeah, we're hitting the period of time in the game where it starts to settle in a little bit. Players are, push themselves through the first 20 minutes, and they'll start to settle in and find a little bit more of a natural rhythm here. Both teams understand how each other will try and attack and defend generally at this point. So we should see a good one.
And there you could just see on your screens kickers head coach David Bulow, who of course took over from Lee Cowlishaw, who also had an incredibly long tenure at the kickers.
Coach Cowlishaw did a fantastic job for the kickers for many years, and David Bulow's certainly got big shoes to fill. But has done a good job, I think, in getting this team organized and together. The results necessarily won't show it week in and week out, but you can see already through the first 20 minutes of this match that they're capable of creating and putting dangerous chances together.
It could be a chance now. It's Fernando. Out wide invites Thompson forward. Gets the 1-2. The Battery getting numbers back behind the ball. Out wide to Yearwood. The 2 outside backs getting forward. It's into the box, away by Hackshaw. Now Woodbine to clear. Again, Troyer on the heels of Atula Guerra.
The Richmond kickers kind of have Atula buttoned up at the moment. It'll be difficult for him to receive some of those balls long out of the back with 3 or 4 white shirts draped around him. Battery will have to look to play a little bit more out of the back through the midfield.
I'm sure the kickers have done their homework on the Eastern leading goal scorer that could create other gaps in the field with several man markings in the middle of the park. It's Hackshaw across, and Joe Kuzminski picks it out of the air. No worries for the Battery.
Yeah, anytime you've got someone with Atula Guerra's stats and certainly his consistency at putting the ball in the back of the net, it's going to draw a lot of attention. We can certainly free up other players. You see Nico Rittmeyer, perfect example, sort of left alone on this left side on his goal and took his chance well.
It's Woodbine on the far side. Fans, the USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow @USL on Twitter. Neville Hackshaw, the Trinidad and Tobago international, has started every game this season for Mike Anhauser, other than the one he missed on international duty. Just 22 years old, 1 goal on the season so far. And to say he's part of the 3-man backline, Christian, he's not afraid to get forward.
That's right. He's certainly been an integral part of the Battery defense this season, but as you can see, he's not lacking to get forward and help try and create chances, which is what you need from all 11 players.
He got his first goal just a couple of weeks ago for the black and yellow. Another mile marker for the team. Anunga up to Hackshaw. Numbers at the top of the box, goes short to Van Schaik. Anunga assessing his options, looking for the through ball for Guerra. Atula Guerra on the ball again. Troyer comes through and now on top.
That's well done from Troyer to sort of muscle him off. Excellent placement in terms of his defending, and he's done well to win that ball back for the kickers. And you see they've given it away straight away.
Woodbine does well. It's Gordon Wild at the top of the box. We know how dangerous he can be now for Guerra. Guerra may have taken 1 too many touches, but Van Schaik's there. Again across to the back end. Safety first from Mikel Williams. Corner kick for Charleston.
And Williams takes no chances there, but they'll have to make sure that they're tight at the back here in terms of this set piece. We know at games of every level, set pieces can decide matches, and certainly the Battery have been dangerous on restarts.
Well, it's going to be Gordon Wild, the Atlanta United loanee, to take it. And we know he is critical over the dead ball. 3 assists on the season, and it's going to be an in-swinger from the far side. Keep your eye on the height in the box as captain Taylor Mueller makes his way up for it. Short at the near post. Leland Archer trying to keep it in, and this time it's Mueller on this near side. The referee saw too much in that challenge. What do you think, Christian?
Poppy, I'll have to see a replay of that. It looked a little soft, to be honest, but the referee has made the decision, and ball will go the other way.
Richmond might have just got away with one. It's Travis Warrer to bring the kickers out.
Yeah, here comes the replay. I don't really see much in it. I think there's a little shove potentially after the ball has left Taylor's foot, and that may be what the referee saw.
All replays tonight brought to you by Baker Roofing. Shanosky. Up to Thompson. Thompson makes his 10th start tonight. 1 goal on the season for the kickers, and another outside back that's not afraid to get forward.
In this formation with a back 4, you really need your outside backs to get forward, and Thompson already through the first 28 minutes has shown that he'll get forward and take chances.
On the far side, it's Fernando, who has been all over the field in the Battery's final third tonight already. Van Schaik. Rittmeyer giving him options, but it goes back to Hackshaw. Looking for Mueller, but Joe Kuzminski steps in. Angelo Kelly in the middle, his first season with the Battery. Impressed Mike Anhauser through tryouts and earned himself a contract. It's Van Schaik in the box, to the top of the box, Atula Guerra. Just looking for a better touch.
And Atula should have certainly done better there. I think he thought he had more time at the top.
Hackshaw dinks one in. Van Schaik's there with the second ball. Now Guerra again, looking for Van Schaik. It's 1-2, out wide to Rittmeyer. And that one will be offside.
The Battery just not quite able to get the ball down at their feet to pull the trigger. Done well to try and keep the ball alive, but Rittmeyer just whistled offside.
And again, it'll be Travis Warrer to come across and get the kickers back underway. Fans, you can watch highlights from every game of the 2018 season and stay up to date with news from across the USL at the league's official Facebook page, facebook.com/USL Soccer. Garrett stepping on his toes and wins the throw. The Battery want it quickly. It's Van Schaik looking for Garrett, finds his feet. And the referee is going to give a free kick to the Battery for that challenge.
I don't know if the kickers know something that we don't know about the athleticism of their goalkeeper, but this is already the second or third time they've pulled Wara way out of the net to try and get to the ball to clear it. And now they'll defend a pretty dangerous set piece here.
Some great vision of the game from veteran Van Schaik to get the ball back underway quickly. Atula Guerra just lost his marker and has won the free kick opportunity for the Battery. So Brian Woodbine and Gordon Wild over the dead ball. Wara arranging his two-man wall, and the Battery keep your eye in the box. Again, the height from the back line. Leland Archer makes his way up for this one. And the Battery have got some height in there, 6'4". And it's going to be Gordon Wild to dink it into the PK spot. Redmeyer was there, and that one runs through.
That was an excellent ball across, and I think Rittmeyer just misses it by an inch. But it looked like the near post was open there for a shot. The Battery elect to go on a cross here, and it's a wonderfully played ball in, just whipped in nice and low across the 6, and Rittmeyer's disappointed, so close to picking up his second of the match.
Nico Rittmeyer so close on that one, and that's going to bring up the first hydration break of tonight's match. We mentioned earlier on, Christian, that we might see one very, very warm conditions, 87 degrees here in Charleston, South Carolina, but also, like you said, a quick tactical talk, and as you can see, both coaches hopping in there.
Both coaches right in the mix with their teams to sort of break it down for them, to let them know if they see anything that potentially they're missing out on the field. Players are always a pretty good judge of what's happening and can kind of see the game from their level, but always a great chance to sort of break it down and correct anything that they may see.
Well, here we're going to get another look at that goal. It's Nico Rittmeyer slotting one home into the right-hand corner. The first Baker Roofing goal of the night and his first professional goal. You can see on your screen there, David Bulow just having a word with a couple of his players. And Christian, you've played the game. What needs to happen late in this second half to get the visitors back on the score sheet?
Yeah, I think they've been pretty patient with the ball. Where they've sort of let themselves down really is in the attacking third. And so the other two-thirds of the field they've done fairly well. I think it's being a little bit sharper for the kickers in the attacking third and really putting a little bit more dangerous chances into the box to try and test Joe Kosminski. And for the Battery on the opposite side, things have gone pretty well from them. Obviously, an early goal sort of relaxes the nerves a little bit as the game wears on, and they've been the more dangerous team so far through the first 30 minutes.
Captain Brian Shriver on your screens there. We mentioned him in the pregame, 6 goals and 6 assists so far this season, but has been kept pretty quiet in this first half so far.
Poppy, he's been very quiet. You know, great goal scorers will show up and can show up at any moment, and so the Battery will certainly not want to be lulled to sleep because he really hasn't had a lot of touches, made any impact so far, but it only takes a split second for him to level this one.
Talking to Captain Taylor Mueller earlier this week just about being at that midpoint in the season and just how everyone's feeling physically out there on the field, and he said the fans don't realize how much of an impact the heat actually plays in each game, and just very, very difficult conditions for 90 minutes.
It does, Poppy. The heat plays a factor during the period of the 90 minutes, but it does also for the days after a match in terms of a player's recovery and whatnot. So the coaching staffs on both teams have to look at what the training rhythm looks like. And at this stage in the season, we're 2/3 of the way through it. The coaches will really want to manage the legs of the players, and training sessions get a little bit shorter, get a little bit sharper. You want to make sure that everybody's healed up and ready for a final push to the playoffs.
And especially at this point in the season, like you said, 2/3 of the way through it, but both teams had their fair share of midweek games combined with the weekend games as well. Richmond having one this week coming up. The Battery have a midweek game the following week, which has got to play an influence as well.
It does, and no player ever wants to sit out. And they'll tell you that they're fine and they're fresh to go, but the coaching staffs will always have difficult decisions to make sure that they've got the best team to put out on each game night.
Hackshaw into the box. Wild is there, headed away by Yearwood. Imura in the challenge with Kelly, comes out on top. And now it's going to be Troyer to get us back underway in the 35th minute.
I just think Kelly didn't really have much of an option there and pulled him back, and it slows the game down, allows the black and yellow to get behind the ball and be ready to win another one.
Well read by Archer. Shriver is on his heels. Offside. And Joe Kuzminski can bring them up.
Leland Archer is an interesting type of a player. He's a big, strong player, but he's got quickness, and he can keep up with a quick, smaller player as well. And there's not a lot of guys that are 6'4", 6'5" that can deal with the shorter stature player. Leland can deal with the guys that are 6'5", 6'6" and battle out of the air, but he certainly has the ability to deal with a smaller player, and he's doing that tonight.
It's Fernando on the front foot with the kickers across to Imura. Woodbine tracks back. Good play from the Jamaican veteran. And that's one thing that you've seen one too many times, Christian, is just a transition from the collegiate league to the professional. Greg Bain and Leland Archer, two of the examples out there tonight that are in their first pro season. What's the biggest thing about that transition?
Yeah, you know, Poppy, the speed of play at every level is just a little bit faster. You know, when you go from the high school game to the college game, it quickens up. When you go from the college game to the professional game, it's even faster, and certainly at the international level. And everyone, I think, just saw an excellent World Cup in Russia. The speed of play is just a lot faster. And I don't mean the speed of how fast guys are. I mean how quickly they're making decisions out on the field and how quickly you've got to be ready to play one touch or to play on two touches. And so the speed is really the separator there. And so it takes a while to adjust to it. But both players have done magically tonight.
Leland Archer has been training with the team for quite a while. Recently graduated from College of Charleston, just signed his contract back in March, and has really been a mainstay on the side for the last couple of games and has fitted in very well, as you say, Christian.
Not easy for a first-year pro to play on a back line and get a lot of minutes either, especially in a back three. Typically, you see players that are a little bit older, more experienced, that are playing across the back line and playing minutes. Leland certainly has great experience at the international level, youth level, and that will play a big role for him going forward.
Both Archer and Neville Hackshaw, Trinidad and Tobago internationals. Very experienced backline with Taylor Mueller in the middle of it.
Always helps to have someone like Taylor Mueller keeping it real in the middle of a back three and keeping it organized. Makes their job a lot easier.
A very good communicator, both on and off the field during practices. And I know you can't hear it much in the game, but he's out there talking to them every single second of the match. Troyer. Out wide to Shinosky. The kickers looking for the space, the battery with numbers back behind the ball. Out wide to Yearwood. Now patience from the kickers in the build-up. Composed at the back from the battery. Gonzalez. Through the middle, well read by Angelo Kelly.
Really, it's interesting how both teams set up a little bit differently in terms of their formation, but they shift into about the same formation when they're defending on their own half. They both sort of sit in a 4-1-4-1 to sort of close those spaces down, where it's Richmond's forwards that drop back to close those spaces down. It's the Battery's midfielders that are in those spaces out wide.
It's been one of the biggest things that the Battery players talk about, is just the transition into defense and into the attack really has been the key for both the counter-attack, but also getting numbers back behind the ball very quickly. Van Schaik through to Rittmeyer. Good flick on for Hackshaw. Troyer comes out on top. It's Shriver. Across the park to Imura. Yearwood trotting behind to join in. It's the ball out wide.
Shriver's been pretty quiet through the first 40 minutes, but you can see there as he gets on that ball how much confidence he has to go forward. They'll need that in the attacking third.
Into the box, Taylor Mueller looking for the aerial duel, and Kuzminski comes through. Joe Kuzminski just taking a chance to wind down the clock and to just get the composure back in the game for the home side.
5 minutes till the break. The Battery want to make sure that they take this lead into halftime. Richmond would love to nick one late here to get on level terms going into it.
Shanosky. Well, if you coach Bulow, what's got to change in these last couple of minutes? That could have been a chance. It was Fernando through. Kuzminski well off his line, well read by the goalkeeper, but it's that quick counter-attack and direct ball that's caused the Battery
it's just got to happen a little more quickly, Poppy. You're right. You know, they've got to be a little bit more dynamic with the ball going forward. It's just a little bit too much one pace, one pace, one pace, and they've not been able to break the Battery down.
Well, if we get the chance, we'll hopefully catch up with Coach Bulow heading into the locker room to get his thoughts on the first half. So stay tuned for that, and if not, we'll definitely catch Mike Hanhauser coming back out of the half. Fernando. The 21-year-old Brazilian looking to get one into the box. Thompson's there. Switches the field. Williams. You can see Shriver directing exactly where he wants the ball on the far side. Patience in the build-up from the kickers.
But Poppy, look how many players are behind the ball for the Battery. There just really aren't any spaces for them to play through. You can see them trying to change the point of the attack and clip the ball in behind the opposite winger, but no one going forward for the kickers, and it'll end up being a Charleston Battery throw.
It's going to be Neville Hackshaw to trot across to take it. The Trinidad and Tobago international, just 22 years old. Imura finds space at the top of the box. Could this be a chance for Richmond? Wide of the target. The referee said it takes a deflection, and that's going to bring up the first corner kick of the night for the visitors.
Great turn by, and we can see it here. It's a great turn by Imura. The confidence to pull the trigger, and Kuzminski with a little touch just to send it in the opposite direction.
It's going to be Shriver with the delivery. 6 assists on the season so far. Keep your eyes in the box. It's right to the PK spot, away by Hackshaw to the top of the box. And Nunga wins the second ball.
Shriver is such a balanced player in attack for the kickers. 6 goals and 6 assists. Not prototypical center forward numbers, but you can see he brings his teammates into it.
Fernando chips one over the crossbar. But again, the kickers are finding a couple of opportunities in the late going.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Bulow, you have to like what you see. They haven't really been in it attacking-wise that much outside the last couple of minutes of the match. To be 1-0 down at this stage isn't worst-case scenario for them at the moment.
Joe Kuzminski taking his time for the Battery players to get up and find space and position. Van Schaik with the flick on. Now the foot race is on. Warrett takes a touch. Rittmeyer's there. And forced out wide due to pressure.
Yeah, and some of those things go unseen. They don't show up in the box scores, but the Battery have the ball now because Rittmeyer was willing to go on a 60-yard run to press that ball and force that turnover.
Hackshaw for Rittmeyer.
I just think Rittmeyer is buzzing with confidence right now. That early goal has really set him. You see him with some cheeky little flicks that he's got the confidence to sort of try now. He's buzzing around the field to try and get on the end of one. I think he thinks this is a match he might be able to pick up another.
Angelo Kelly looking to get into the attack for Woodbine. Woodbine pointing to his feet, just out of your screen.
Just a miscommunication. Woodbine had started that run, and it wasn't seen. And so by the time the ball was played, he had started to hold up his run there.
Not a bad position to pin the visitors in with just about 20 seconds left of regular time to play here at MUSC Health Stadium. Shriver, Mueller wins the aerial duel. Out wide to Gordon Wild, Yearwood with the press. Whipped and curled around the top of the box for Van Schaik. And Nunga leads Woodbine in there. Can he get the strike away? He's there with Warra. And Warra manages to get his hands on it. But what a chance that was.
What a moment there for the battery. An excellent ball in. O'Brien Woodbine makes a great little darting run behind the back line to get it. Takes a pretty good touch. And credit to Warra for the courage to come out and hold on to that one. But it was 6s and 7s at the back there for a second from the kickers.
Well, as you can see on your screens there, there'll be 2 minutes of added on time here in the first half. And now both teams starting to find a bit of momentum in this late going. Williams up to Yearwood. The battery not taking any chances, dropping everybody back behind the ball.
I think Coach Anhauser would just be happy getting to the break at this point. 1-0 up. His team has played pretty well and really hasn't given up too much. Kickers obviously want to try and put one on the board before heading into the locker room.
Shanosky whips one into the top of the box, away by Mueller. That was a risky one, but no damage done. Kuzminski tracks across to collect. And that looked like the referee just taking a quick look at his stopwatch. Kuzminski forced to pick it up with the pressure from Shriver. Building from the back, it's Hackshaw. Some combination play in the back line, Van Schaik. Up top to Garrett. Finds O'Brien Woodbine. Can Woodbine find the space into the box? Warra drops it, and it's Rittmeyer. His first and second professional goal tonight. You called it, Christian, just a couple of minutes ago, and he's found the back of the net on the stroke of half-time.
Well, he just looked like a player, Poppy, that was ready to get another one. You can see the replay here. Great ball in from O'Brien Woodbine. If it's not a Tulagera, it's going to be Nico Rittmeyer there. And just a backbreaker for the Richmond kickers on the stroke of halftime to give up the second one. And what a cool finish from Nico Rittmeyer to put that on target.
Well, Christian, you said he has a buzz in his step, and now he absolutely does. 2 goals on the night. Nico Rittmeyer puts the Charleston battery up 2-0 right on the stroke of half-time. Well, we have just about finished extra time here in the first half. There is the referee's whistle. Nico Rittmeyer with both goals for the black and yellow. And there he is, the goal scorer himself.
Nico walking with a little pep in his step off to halftime. 2 good finishes.
2 fantastic finishes. All smiles from Rittmeyer as the Charleston battery make their way off the field for halftime. And if you're Mike Anhauser, you've got to be quite happy with the first half performance.
Yeah, absolutely. The battery had the lion's share of the chances, although I wouldn't say they created a lot going forward. They did take those chances. Let's take a look at the 2 goals here. Rittmeyer with that little run in behind.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. Join us at halftime where we'll discuss everything battery coming up. We'll see you in a few. It's Shark Week, everybody, which means just one thing. We are going to put our battery players to the test to see how good their Sharkopedia really is. Who do you think is going to win? Well, let's dive in and see if they know anything about sharks.
Jack.
Oof, no clue. No clue.
Thought he was just Jaws.
Bristless? Something like that?
Sharky.
I think that would be Booth.
White shark.
Jerry.
Brent. Bruce. Bryce. Florida.
Australia.
Florida.
I'm gonna go with Australia.
Florida.
Australia.
Australia.
130.
120.
Like a number?
14.
800. 600 or so.
47.
5.
9.
1.
35.
17.
25.
2.
10.
80 years? Depends on the shark, probably.
25 years.
65 years.
400.
600.
30 years, maybe.
500. I don't know. 600. 600.
I'd say 800.
600, go for the middle.
400.
400. Yeah. 600.
Schreiber, and it's 1-0 Richmond.
That didn't come off very well. This ball headed in. Important save by McIntosh.
Fury going forward again. Here's a left foot drive. Another shot.
Side across in front. Header is down and it's kicked away. Herrera, 2 great saves. Oh my gosh, 3.
And for Herrera, has some time and space. Lets it fly. That is sensational from Herrera. Lots of traffic in there. Gets lost. Oh, how about Mizell? Wow. Ward. Near post. Oh, what a finish by Charlie Ward.
And will take the shot, and Farino, an important parry with his right hand.
Ramos Godoy cutting onto his right and strikes, and it goes in.
Go with the right foot, and he's stopped.
Isley finding Owasso with a strike, and it's number 10 on the year.
Chance here for Pittsburgh. Into Brad.
Oh, what a save again.
And it will be Salgado to strike, and he puts it in the back of the net.
Brian Obi working on fines. Obi, it's off the crossbar.
Moreno with the shot, and he beats McGuire.
Guillen, first time. Becker down low. And Goita down low as well with the save.
Lautrec sends some service in, taking off the chest by Gregg, who strikes and scores. In on goal, Callie Brown off of his line. Prater denied by Brown.
Shot from distance. Tambakis with the pull, with the save.
Lopez on side, good ball. Cheto Guzman almost rolling in. San Antonio FC on top, 3-1.
Unbeaten in 7 matches and sit in second place in the Eastern Conference after handing Pittsburgh Riverhounds their second loss of the season. They now return to MUSC Health Stadium this Saturday to take on longtime rival Richmond Kickers. For the Charleston Battery, I'm Poppy Miller. Let's take a look around the league. FC Cincinnati remain the team to beat in the East after taking all 3 points from New York Red Bulls 2 on Saturday. Emmanuel Ledesma was key to both goals after setting up both Forrest Lasso in the 17th minute and Patrick Barrett in the 35th. It was a win that capped an 8-day spell of 3 consecutive victories. Charleston Battery captain Taylor Mueller was named to USL Team of the Week after contributing to their 8th shutout this season. Mueller won 3 tackles and recorded 9 clearances in a 1-0 victory against Pittsburgh Riverhounds on Saturday. Taylor Mueller isn't the only one on fantastic form for the Battery. Tulagera leads the Eastern Conference with 11 goals on the season so far and scored the game winner at Highmark Stadium against the Riverhounds on Saturday. Reigning USL champions Louisville City FC got back to winning ways with a 4-1 victory over Charlotte Independence at Slugger Field. 4 Louisville players got on the score sheet. McCabe opened the scoring, followed by Illich, Lancaster and George Davis IV. Herrera notched a goal in the 90th minute for the visitors before the final whistle at Slugger Field. Well, that's a look around the league for Week 19. For the Charleston Battery, I'm Poppy Miller. Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium. It's halftime here between the Charleston Battery and the Richmond Kickers. Poppy Miller alongside Christian Michener. And Christian, the Battery having a fantastic season. One of the players that's playing a huge role in the Battery's success is captain Taylor Mueller, who has been recognised by the USL.
And it's a fantastic award for Taylor. He certainly played exceptionally well against Pittsburgh last week in their 1-0 victory with 3 strong tackles and 9 clearances to help preserve the win.
He's contributed to 8 shutouts for the Battery this season and really has been a mainstay on Mike Anhauser's side. Well, the Battery are enjoying a match at home tonight, but will hit the road for the next 2 games. And the next one up, it's a state rivalry against North Carolina FC.
Always fun to play, sort of a local derby. NCFC is an excellent side, and when the games are close enough for the fans to travel to, it helps make the environment even better.
Kickoff will be at 7 o'clock from Wake Med Soccer Park, but don't worry, if you can't make the trip, we've got you covered here in Charleston. We'll have a watch party at the Alley, so join us there for that great matchup. And another fantastic match will follow against Tampa Bay Rowdies, and this time you can watch that right here at MUSC Health Stadium in the Three Lions Pub.
Three Lions Pub's a phenomenal place to watch a match, and certainly with Tampa Bay having veteran players like Joe Cole on the roster, it shapes up to be an interesting match.
It will be a fantastic game. For any more information on those watch parties, stay up to date with all the latest social media, and you can head to charlestonbattery.com for any more info. The Battery will then return home for their next game against Atlanta United 2 at MUSC Health Stadium on August 11th. Kickoff will be at 7 o'clock. And also a big night for the club. We'll be celebrating Mike Anhauser's 25th anniversary at the club.
Well, it's hard to mention the Charleston Battery without mentioning Coach Anhauser with 6 seasons as a player before transitioning into a coaching role. He has done just such an exceptional job with this club over his 25 years, and what an achievement for him on the evening.
He's had a fantastic tenure here at Charleston, and we look forward to celebrating him for that game. Hopefully the team will get the 3 points to top the night off. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have second half action from MUSC Health Stadium. It's up next. Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium. We've got head coach Mike Anhauser downstairs below us. Coach 2-0 up at halftime. Nico Rittmeyer with his first and second professional goal. You must be very happy with the team's first half.
Happy that he got 2 goals. A little disappointed in our possession there for the last 20, 30 minutes. I thought they worked it pretty well, but we did a great job at the end of the half to get it wide and get a cross in to put them down 2-0. Now we just got to make sure we come out of here at halftime and do things properly.
What do you want to see different in the second half? What was the message to the team in the locker room?
Yeah, we don't want to play at 75%. We need to keep our defensive pressure up. We got to defend 100%. We need to get them under pressure in the half. They are moving the ball well in our half. They're not getting really to our goal, but they're getting into some spaces that have been dangerous, and we talked about it and need to really get pressure. But if we catch them on the counter, I think we can get that 3rd goal.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, Christian, you heard from head coach Mike Anhauser, very happy with Nico's goal, but wants to see more possession-wise from the side.
Yeah, I think the battery was pretty good in possession in their own half, but certainly once they get into the attacking third, it broke down to some degree, and for the Richmond Kickers on the other side of the ball, it was the same thing. Both teams were pretty good over 2/3 of the field, and the battery were a little bit more lethal in front of goal in the first half.
Well, it's going to be Atula Guerra to get us back underway in the second half here at MUSC Health Stadium. But if you coach Bulow, what do you think the message to Richmond was?
I think he's trying to see what these players are made of. At this point, 2-0 down on the road. He knows they've got to get something going in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the second half. I think he's saying all in the first 10 minutes, let's try and nick one back and make a game out of it.
Well, we are underway here in Charleston, South Carolina. Poppy Miller alongside Christian Michener. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are. Gordon Wild out to Woodbine. The battery looking to get on the attack in the early going. It runs out of play, and it'll be Yearwood to get us back underway. Troyer, for me, one of the players that had a good, solid first half and did his job taking care of Atula Guerra.
He did. Troyer did a really good job sitting in there. He's the guy they really want on the ball deep in their half, and really they were comfortable in possession in those areas. Where they struggled was in that attacking third in those moments when they were in front of goal.
Atula Guerra waved offside. Troyer back to Warra. And another thing to note from the first half, a few loose passes out the back from Warra.
There were, his teammates didn't do him a lot of favors, playing him into some crazy positions. But they'll certainly need him to be a little bit tidier with the ball.
A direct ball through. Mueller in the foot race with Fernando. Does enough to shield him out. And it'll be Kuzminski to get us back underway.
It'll be interesting to see if the Richmond Kickers will really start to try and push the pace early on in the second half. And if the Charleston battery will be comfortable 2-0 up to sort of sit and wait for those moments to try and break out and get a third.
Joe Kuzminski looks for his 8th USL clean sheet tonight after shutting out Pittsburgh Riverhounds last weekend and handing them their 2nd loss of the season. Away at Highmark Stadium, a big win for the battery. It was Atula Guerra the difference. And now a difficult schedule coming up, especially for Richmond this week with a Wednesday night match.
Never easy going on the road, but 2 on the road and 1 midweek makes it difficult. Coach Bulow will definitely have to take a look at his players' legs and see where they can really effectively pick up points. This one's not over, 45 minutes left.
Well, it's the Kickers who will take on Pittsburgh Riverhounds, the defensively sound side. And as for the Charleston battery, they'll be heading across the border to take on state rivals North Carolina FC next Saturday. And if you can't make the road trip to that game, join us at the Alley in Charleston, where we'll be holding a watch party to cheer on the black and yellow. Troyer across the back line. Shinosky drops one into the middle. It's Bain. Archer steps forward. The Trinidad and Tobago, won by Shriver. Wanting the return ball. Instead, they'll win the throw. Yearwood back to Troyer. Well, we mentioned it in the first half, but the last time the battery lost was away at City Stadium against the Kickers. And ever since have been on a fantastic form tonight, looking for their 4th consecutive USL win. Yearwood blocked by Anunga.
The Battery are definitely the team in form, having picked up a huge top of the table win at Pittsburgh last weekend. Richmond sort of on the other end of affairs right now at the bottom of the table. Not an easy schedule for the week for the Kickers as they're here in Charleston playing away at a top of the table team and having to go on the road again to play Pittsburgh, who's sitting near the top of the table as well. And so it's a difficult stretch on a little bit rest and not a lot of time to prepare for your next opponent.
And of course the Kickers still looking for their first win on the road this season. The Battery, however, on fantastic home form, having only lost 1 game at home so far this year. Rittmeyer on the far side wins the throw for the black and yellow. Fans, if you want to get key talking points from the USL every week, tune into the Hat Trick with Kelsey Steele on Monday evenings at the USL's Instagram account to stay up to date with what's to know around the league.
Kickers enjoying a spell of possession here now to start the second half. Good defensive intervention there from Kelly.
And he's looking for Atula Guerra, who's pushed out wide to retrieve the ball, takes it into the box. And now he's got time closing in on him, chips one across looking for Woodbine. Tarbrine Anunga takes the strike, blocked by Williams. Van Schaik to recycle. Archer joins in the attack. Anunga through to Archer. Archer with the negative. Atula Guerra's there. The king of Charleston gets his 12th goal of the season. Atula Guerra makes it 3-0, Charleston Battery.
Fantastic finish. Fantastic finish from Atula Guerra. You see here, Leland Archer whips this ball in to the back post. And there's Atula Guerra, not marked, completely wide open inside the 6. And you really give a player of this quality that chance. He's going to put the ball in the back of the net every time.
What a first-class finish from the Trinidad and Tobagan. And a great ball into the box from Leland Archer, who gets his first assist for the Charleston Battery.
Another one getting his name on the score sheet tonight for the first time. Another College of Charleston graduate there as well. What an excellent ball played in. And Poppy, it's interesting, the chance prior to that, I was a little bit surprised that Atula Guerra didn't take it himself, elected to sort of clip that ball over the top to O'Brien Woodbine and miss the target.
So Charleston 3-0 up in the 52nd minute at MUSC Health Stadium, and now the Kickers are going to have to find a response, Christian.
Coach Bulow will certainly have to dig into his bag of tricks now at this point to see how he can get his team back into this match, because at the moment it looks like it's a runaway for the Battery.
Atula Guerra leads the USL in goals with 12 on the season with his goal tonight. And what a finish it was for him. And now it looks like there could be more to come. It's Gordon Wild. Combines with Guerra. Van Schaik runs into numbers. Yearwood brings the Kickers out the back. Up to Amura. Shriver on the ball, looking to generate the spark in the attack.
Well, if you're an attacking player for the Charleston Battery, these are the types of matches you want to be in. 3-0 up with 40 minutes to play. And the Richmond Kickers really with no alternative but to take some risks now and get numbers forward, which will certainly open up spaces going forward for the Battery.
Could we expect to see some changes? That was a chance because Minsky pats away and collects the second ball. But that could have been half a chance for Richmond.
And Gonzalez really takes it well. You can see here, takes a good touch and hammers one because Minsky has just a little bit of trouble with, although that ball is flying in with bags of pace. He's done well to really zip one in on the Battery's frame.
Well, will this force Coach Bulow to his bench to bring on some attacking players, we will see no changes as of yet in the 54th minute for either side. Troyer in the middle of the park. Fernando works one out wide. It's Thompson. Into the box. Hackshaw's there with the press. This time Van Schaik on his heels.
Troyer's extremely comfortable just sitting in front of the back line, getting those balls and nicking them in. I'd really like to see if he can get himself established a little bit higher up the field and try and play some of those final balls himself into the forwards, into the likes of someone like Shriver who can put the ball in the back of the net. Here you go. You see him a little bit further forward here.
Troyer with the delivery. Atula Guerra this time to block him. And Yearwood picks up the second ball. Takes a deflection. Kuzminski off his line. Well composed from the keeper. Kuzminski just taking his time to get the battery back underway with each restart, Christian.
That's right. They're really in no hurry at this point. They've done pretty good work over the first 55 minutes and are 3-0 up. And so it really won't be, the onus won't be on the Charleston battery necessarily to push the pace of this match at this point. It will be on the Richmond kickers to find a way back into it.
Kuzminski away with the long ball just below me. There's some movement on the Richmond bench. Two players putting on their jerseys and ready to make their way onto the field. Two substitutions for Coach Bulow. And it looks like it's going to be Secure coming in and also Gentile. Those substitutions happening very fast, as you can see from Richmond. And off comes Amura. So two substitutions.
Yeah, Mura and Bame coming out for the kickers. And really, when you're making a double switch like that, you want your two players that are going in to make an immediate impact. So we really have to see how Gentile and Sakai can get out into this match and get their feet on the ground and really sort of change the rhythm of what's going on.
Securi, the Ghanaian, 32-year-old, makes his third appearance this season. Has been with the side since 2015, led the team in assists with 7 on the season in 2015 and has been an anchor in the midfield for the kickers. And now they are going to have a chance. And it's going to be Secure to take. What we know, he's got a good delivery. We mentioned how many assists he's racked up over the years. The battery not taking any chances. Everybody back behind the ball.
All hands on deck, and certainly in these situations, there are great opportunities to pick up goals. The kickers would love to put one in the back of the net, but dealt with easily there by Archer.
This time it's Gordon Wild on the far side. Looking for Guerra up top. This time Troyer out wide to Yearwood. The Jamaican veteran O'Brien Woodbine brings the black and yellow out of the back. And now Christian, the battery just looking to keep composure and hold the possession, like Mike Hanhauser mentioned at halftime.
It is, and as I said earlier, I really think the kickers will have to push the pace of this one now. They'll have to see if Coach Bulow has made a formation change out of this and shifted some players around, or if it's a like-for-like switch.
It's Guerra at the top of the box. He takes the strike just wide of the target.
You can't leave that man alone. 18 yards out. Atula Guerra has already got one tonight and certainly inches away from a second.
Well, we mentioned how dangerous he can be at the top of the box. He had the time and space to get the shot away, and that's something Richmond are going to have to shut down. in this late going in the second half. Yearwood. Well, no movement on the Battery bench as of yet. And of course, keep you up to date when we see anything just below us.
And the Kickers with a good spell of possession, but nothing comes of it. I just think they're a little bit happy to have the ball, but they haven't really been dangerous with it, getting forward of 30 yards out from goal. And they'll need to be a little bit craftier, a little bit more movement ahead of the ball to sort of open up those spaces.
The Battery win the free kick. Woodbine to take it. The possession in the back line. Hackshaw on the far side. Up to Rittmeyer.
Surprised at how many Richmond Kickers players are playing so deep and not putting a little bit more pressure on the ball. Woodbine with a good run there, just caught offside.
This time it's Yearwood. Richmond on the front foot. It's Shriver. Secure at the top of the box. Can he get the strike away? Kelly runs through his path and comes out on top. Kelly across in the middle. Anunga sends Atulagera on his way. Numbers in the box. Can Atulagera find the strike? One too many touches from the leading goal scorer.
And Atulagera really should have done better with that one. I tell you, I was confused on his last attempt when he didn't take that chance to try and go at those players and create an opportunity. He did this time. Didn't work in his favor.
Fans, let me update you with some USL scores around the league. Tampa Bay Rowdies leading New York Red Bulls 2-1, and North Carolina FC and Pittsburgh Riverhounds all tied up at 1-1. We'll keep you up to date with the scores around the league as we go on tonight here at MUSC Health Stadium. 3-0 Battery in the 61st minute, 2 for Rittmeyer and 1 for Guerra. Troyer across to Williams. Into the middle of the park, it's Secure.
This is what they need a little bit more of, Richmond. Someone out of the midfield like Secure that can get the ball and run at them and create those spaces. They've been content to pass the ball around backward and laterally.
And now a chance in the box. Kuzminski pulls it down. Good composed save from Kuzminski.
Yeah, and that's a lot better from the Richmond Kickers there. A little bit more dynamic with the ball and then finding that runner in the box that can play a dangerous ball across. Kuzminski with good hands to hold on to that one.
Garrett and Williams in a tussle on this near side. Referee just asking Williams to drop back a couple of yards to get it back underway. Troyer across the back line. Now Troyer to bring the Kickers out of the back, whose possession has been better.
It has. They've really dominated possession, I think, this half. They just don't have anything to show for it at the moment. They're going to have to be a little bit sharper as they get into those final third areas if they want to break the Charleston Battery's defenders down, who've done a really good job battening down the hatches back there.
Be interesting to look at the possession stats from the first half and up to now. It's Nico Rittmeyer on the run. He's got Gordon Wild with him in the box. Can he take the strike? I think Gordon Wild would have liked a delivery from that one.
And he'll probably get an earful. Rittmeyer will get an earful from Wild on that one, although Rittmeyer full of confidence.
Now things are starting to really open up. It's Gentilier, puts one across the box. Nobody there on the end of it, but very back and forth from each side.
I think prior to the 2 goals that Rittmeyer scored tonight, he might have looked to pass that ball. He might have looked to bring somebody else into it, but with a brace already and sitting on a hat trick, he certainly was looking for that 3rd goal.
Archer pumps one up for Wild. Williams wins the duel. Kelly in the middle, and Anunga can bring it down. Woodbine back to Archer. Maybe one too many touches out the back. Gentile finds Yearwood.
The battery guilty of playing just a little casually there in the back. And Richmond will eat up these opportunities.
Shriver on this near side, delivers into the box, away by Mueller. Finds its way to Guerra. And now a scramble at the top, away by Hackshaw. The referee is going to give a free kick for the challenge at the top of the box.
And Coach Anhauser won't be pleased with what he's witnessed over the last 15 minutes. As you see a replay here, just clatters over the top of Skire, and it will be a dangerous restart here, and we know that the Richmond kickers are lethal over these dead ball situations.
I was about to say, if you joined us for the pre-game, you would have seen the highlight from Brian Shriver about at this range, slotting one into the upper 90. The battery back line are going to have to be on their toes. Joe Kuzminski busy organising them, and it's going to be Shriver, air ball, just this time over the top of the crossbar.
Well struck, he just doesn't get the ball to dip early enough. And Kuzminski really not troubled there. You see the replay, he's a bit far out, but he has a good attempt there, just not able to dip it down enough to get under the crossbar. The battery dodge a bullet.
This is going to bring up a substitution for Mike Anhauser, the first of the game. As you can see on your screens there, it looks like it's going to be Victor Mansoret to make his way on as soon as the referee allows it. Right now, a couple of players just taking this chance to get some fluid on board, and it's going to be Gordon Wild, the Atlanta United loanee, to make way for Victor Mansoret, who's in his first season with the battery. And some absolute speed up top to join Atula Guerra.
It's a good substitution there as you bring on fresh legs and somebody that can absolutely fly to stretch a team who will have to really look to take chances to come forward. This could be a game for him to get in behind the back line and find a few chances.
Well, this has seen Nico Rittmeyer trot across to the right-hand side. Mansoret takes the left. We will see how that substitution unfolds. Victor Mansoret with one USL goal and one Open Cup goal on the season so far, but right now it's the kickers on the front foot. Hackshaw sends one out the back. Secure in the middle, turns on Kelly. Can he find the space in the box? Well read by Archer. Mansoret looking to get his first touches on the ball.
And the kickers have come out of the break really a different team, Poppy. You know, they won't be pleased going into halftime having given up that real late goal, and certainly an early goal to start the second half has put them on their heels, but they've been the better side in the second half, apart from chances created.
And all attacking substitutions from both coaches, very promising substitutions.
Absolutely, the battery will certainly make that switch, hoping to see if they can get Mansoret in behind the team with some fresh legs. And the kickers needed to, if they could have made 7 changes, they might have. Frankly, it wasn't great from the kickers in the first half, but they've certainly found their footing in the second.
Secure out wide to Yearwood. The outside back getting forward into the attack. It's Shriver, lofts one out to the back post. A good ball in, right idea.
Good idea from Shriver, and you can see he's just kind of given that freedom to float and create how he sees fit, which is why he's on 6 goals and 6 assists. He's got the ability to sort of create and bring players into it, and they'll certainly need his ability to pull other teammates into the mix to try and claw their way back into the match.
Kuzminski, a lofty ball out the back, looking for Van Schaik. But it'll be Thompson on the far side with the throw. Fans, the USL welcomed its newest member, Hartford Athletic, the 6th club set to join the league for the 2019 season. For more information on the new club, visit hartfordathletic.com.
exciting time to be in the USL, Poppy, with a lot of new franchises coming into the fold. Next season, it'll be really interesting to see how things unfold and which teams that do well in 2018 can take that into the 2019 season.
You're absolutely right, Christian. And the teams that have just come in this season, even the Nashville and just all the local rivals, North Carolina FC, that have added an exciting schedule for the Battery.
It's a fantastic league, and one that the fans can be proud to come and support their teams locally wherever they are. And with the proximity of a lot of these clubs, you get a lot of local sort of derbies and rivalries that build up. And certainly the Charleston Battery Richmond Kickers rivalry has been a brewing for many years.
Another exciting time for football in the States is the youth soccer and the pathway to the pros, something that you know a lot about here at this club, being a director.
Yeah, we're really excited about the Charleston Battery Soccer Club starting up, and for kids in the Low Country to be able to emulate their favorite pros, both on the men's side with the Charleston Battery and on the women's side with the Charleston Fleet. It's an exciting time to be involved in the game of soccer here in Charleston.
A heavy touch from Shriver, who was offside anyway. But back to your point, Christian, a lot of youth soccer fans out in the stadiums tonight, and an awesome experience to them to see firsthand just to where they can get with hard work.
Yeah, it's an eye-opening experience for a lot of these kids, you know, at every level, to be able to come in and see the professional game live. It's so different watching games on television to being able to show up and watch the professional game being played out in front of you. You witness so many more things, and you pick up on things when you're at a match than you do when you're watching it, you know, on your 42-inch television at home.
Here comes Victor Mansoret. Has he got the legs to get by Troyer? Troyer using his body strength to keep him out wide. Too much, says the referee, who was given Victor Mansoret the free kick, just telling him to calm down. You can see from the hand gestures there.
Yeah, I don't think he was happy with this, and Troyer does a good job to sort of lock him up, but it is definitely a foul, and it gives the Battery a chance to bring their big guys forward and see if they can't nick another one here.
This is going to bring up Jared Van Schaik. We know how critical he can be over the dead ball. And he's going to have an opportunity to whip an out swinger from the far side into the box. Keep your eye on Leland Archer. You can see some fans made some faces just behind him.
I don't know which Van Schaik is taking this set piece, actually. Oh, here it is.
Van Schaik into the box. Straight through, a good delivery. Woodbine to collect on the far side. Heads away from Richmond. Tarbrine and Unger with the second ball. Now Nico Rittmeyer looking for Woodbine. Great idea. Just a bit of miscommunication between the two.
The Kickers were certainly more organized in those areas to defend serves from the wide places and than they were earlier in the match, and so it's a credit to them for organizing and being prepared for that. They'll just need to have a little bit better luck going forward with the ball.
Leland Archer leaves it for the Jamaican veteran, O'Brien Woodbine. We've seen his throw in the first half. An absolute javelin of a throw.
And I don't know about you, Poppy, but if I have a guy playing next to me who can throw the ball 50 or 60 yards, I'm going to let him take it pretty much every time, which is what Archer is content to do for sure.
Especially out of the back. This is going to bring up another substitution for the visitors. And this time it's going to be Halvati to come on, and making his way off is Yearwood. So all three substitutions have been made for Coach Bulow. Here comes Secure. Out wide, Hackshaw's on the press. Can he get the shot away? It's into the middle. Gentile just wide of the post. Kuzminski pats it away, and that could have been a chance.
It was a dangerous opportunity for the Kickers, but it starts with Secure picking up that ball in the midfield, and I liked his addition into this game. He's really come in and done very well for the Kickers to sort of create chances going forward. We'll take a look at this. Little ball in through from him. Great save by Kuzminski. Acrobatics to try and put that ball into the back of the net. It just goes wide.
And here comes another substitution for Mike Anhauser. Off comes goal scorer Tula Guerra, and on comes Atlanta United loanee Patrick Okonkwo. Another attacking change from the home side.
Yeah, sitting on a 3-goal lead. Charleston Battery are licking their chops to try and see if they can get another one. And the changes that have been made can certainly make that happen.
Here comes Mansoray, leads Okonkwo on. Warra very fast off his line and gets Richmond underway quickly. Mike Anhauser on your screens below us, just giving some direction to the home side. Shriver into the middle, it's Secure. Takes a few touches. Into the back post. Hackshaw's there. Can Fernando get something on it? Kept in bounds. Again, good delivery into the box, to the back post, and Kuzminski leaves it to run out.
Well, Sakiri has been a little engine in the midfield for the Kickers since he's come on. He's really buzzing around quite a bit, trying to get a hold of that ball, spraying the ball right and left. He's been a good, someone that's done well coming into this match.
Varty, the midfield change that came on, is in his first season with the Kickers, comes from Fort Lauderdale Strikers. We know he is no stranger to finding the back of the net. Kelly, stopped in his tracks by Shinosky. This time it's Van Schaik across to Ripmeyer. Woodbine joins in the attack, and it's Anunga to find him. Brian Anunga, the Cameroonian international, the workhorse for the Battery in the middle of the park, started every single game for Mike Anhauser this season and really is the catalyst in the middle.
He really is. He's like a big diesel engine running through there, but for a guy of that size, he's got good touch, and it certainly just isn't a wrecking ball in the midfield, although he can bring that part of the game to the Battery's midfield, but he does a great job of holding possession and looking to bring in O'Brien, Woodbine, Gordon Wild, Jared Van Schaik, guys that are playing in wide positions.
He's got 3 goals on the season and 2 assists. That's a good ball into the box, picked out the air by Kuzminski. No worries for the Battery goalkeeper.
I think Kuzminski would deal with that one all day long. Richmond Kickers just didn't have enough runners in the box. It's kind of a hopeful ball, sending one in there to one runner, and Kuzminski didn't look bothered.
Well, Coach Bulow made all 3 changes that we'll see tonight. What do you want to see from them, Christian?
I mean, really, we've seen a much better Richmond Kickers team in the second half.
This could be a chance. It's Fernando on the far side, lays one off just over the crossbar from Gentile.
It's a good attack, and just unlucky that that ball flies over the bar, but when it's not your night, it doesn't happen. A little ball flicked out wide, and the Battery are having trouble keeping up with the white shirts in the box. The ball just flashes over the bar and keep the score 3-0 for the Battery.
Tula Guerra and Gordon Wild on your screen there, just seeing themselves on the big screen. Here at MUSC Health Stadium, the Battery leading the Kickers 3-0 in the 78th minute. Poppy Miller alongside Christian Michener. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are. Williams back to Troyer. Richmond with a spring in their step still.
The Battery will need to be careful because it's still 13 minutes left in the game, and as you and I both know, that crazy things can happen in the latter moments of the game when the Battery starts to feel like they can see the end. You know, the end is in sight and 3 points are in the bag. The Kickers are still pushing to try and bring this game back to level terms.
Coach Bulow on your screens there, keeping the ball close for the Kickers to get it back underway. Shinosky up into the middle. The Battery safety in numbers, away by Hackshaw. Patrick Okonkwo tracking back. Rittmeyer's there. Troyer through him. The referee will give that one in favor of the home side.
Yeah, it was smart play from Nico Rittmeyer to sort of win the space in front of the ball and take a foul. And you know, unfortunately for the kickers, they sort of bailed the battery out of that one. They were in a good position to maybe just bring players forward and press them into those wide spaces, but have bailed them out with a free kick. Well, there's still time left in this one, Poppy. You really don't have to look much further than the game last night with LAFC and the LA Galaxy, as LAFC was up 2-0 with 8 minutes left, and the Galaxy were able to peg them back and draw 2-2 in El Tráfico, as they're calling it out on the West Coast. So the Battery will have to stay focused to make sure all 3 points stay in Charleston tonight.
You're absolutely right, Christian. The Battery looking to get on the attack, and that one won't worry Travis Warrer, who gets the kickers underway quickly. And the Battery have potential to move up to second in the Eastern Conference with a win tonight. Just trailing FC Cincinnati, who are the only ones that have quite a few points differential. We mentioned how tight it is at the top of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, they've really separated themselves from the rest of the field, you know, but with time still to play, anything can happen going down the stretch. But sitting on 44 points coming into the matches this weekend, they're in the right spot to host games in the playoffs.
Both the Battery and FC Cincinnati come into this week on the same form with 4 wins and just 1 draw. The best form in the Eastern Conference. Mansoray out wide to Van Schaik, up by Hackshaw. Again, you can just see the Battery getting back in defensive shape. The ball launched forward. And the Battery looking to hold ground at the back. Secure leads one through. Could this be a chance for Fernando? Up by Kuzminski, again blocked by Kuzminski. And Kuzminski comes out on top and manages to keep the kickers at bay.
It's absolutely brilliant goalkeeping from Joe Kuzminski. It's technical goalkeeping. You got to be brave as well. As you can see, flies out here and gets a touch on this one. Pops up very quickly to get another save and reels that one back in. He has been so integral to the Battery's success this season. He's really come on strong, and for a team that is scoring goals, to know that you've got someone between the pipes behind you keeping the ball out can really give you confidence going forward.
And Joe Kuzminski, like we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, looks for his 8th clean sheet tonight for the Battery of the season. The Battery have been defensively sound, and they'll be looking to keep the kickers out, especially to keep those clean sheets coming.
That'll be important as they head down the stretch and into the playoffs. Games get tighter. There are rarely runaways and routes that happen as we move forward into the playoffs. So having a good, sound defensive posture and the confidence to win a game 1-0 late is really important.
Ball pumped up by Williams. Woodbine turns, gets a touch for Rittmeyer. Troyer this time with the ball. The referee just pulls Williams back for a bit too much.
Yeah, and it's been sort of the problem really has been a combination of the kickers not really scoring lots and lots of goals, but been just very leaky defensively, having given up 35 goals coming into this one, obviously 3 more tonight. If they have any shot at really making headway going forward in the league and into the playoffs, they really got to shut down teams.
We said it's going to be difficult. They head on the road to take on Pittsburgh Riverhounds this Wednesday, who have only lost 2 on the season so far. They're going to have their work cut out for them as well. Just over 7 minutes of regular time left to play here at MUSC Health Stadium. Charleston Battery leading Richmond 3-0. Nico Rittmeyer with the first 2, Atula Guerra with the 3rd, and with his 12th goal of the season. Secure assessing his options, goes out wide to Thompson. Good ball delivered into the box. Archer gets enough on it. And Woodbine for Rittmeyer. Rittmeyer still with gas in the tank. Who's putting an excellent shift tonight, Christian.
Nico has been fantastic tonight. Certainly two nice goals, and he'll look to see if he can get a third down the stretch. But really, it's a product of his effort on the field. He works extremely hard, very good on the ball, but his work rate and intensity on the field has come to fruition.
Varty across to Secure. Out wide, it's Fernando with the delivery. In the middle, it runs again through. Can they keep it in bounds? The strike is there. Kuzminski's forced to make the save. The danger isn't over. It's Fernando. Dribbles around the top of the box. Troyer with the strike this time, away by Mueller. And a hold your breath moment if you're a Battery fan.
A couple of dodgy moments at the back. Some clearances that weren't really sure there from Archer. The Battery stays strong, and Kuzminski certainly with a big left paw to push that one away.
Away by Hackshaw this time. To the top of the box, it's Fernando again. Chips the ball in. And the Battery can breathe.
It just hasn't been Richmond's night in front of goal. You can see the replay here as they float one in. Kuzminski with that big left paw just pushes it wide. Keeps a clean sheet.
Kuzminski not in any rush to get the Battery back underway. I'll give time for his team to get up. Troyer still looking to get into the attack. This isn't over from Richmond. It's Fernando on the far side. Numbers are in the box. A good delivery. This time it's Woodbine to clear. Secure recycles. Mueller out the back via Hackshaw.
And the Battery legs are wearing down, and the Richmond kickers are starting to get a little bit more success in those wide areas where the Battery were closing down and kind of closing up shop earlier in the game. Richmond's having a little bit more success now.
You can see both outside backs really getting forward and joining in the attack. Thompson as far forward as the striker line.
Yeah, and that's where the Battery just have to really stay switched on. As the kickers send more players forward into the attack, they've got to be able to communicate with each other on picking up some of these free runners that are coming from deep areas.
Joe Kuzminski launches forward. Secure again. You mentioned him, Christian, really has changed the midfield, been a workhorse in the middle of the park.
Yeah, and Troyer has done very well kind of sitting into that space, but the inclusion of Secure into this match, I think it's really sort of changed the rhythm for the kickers. He's been very busy trying to get onto that ball.
It looks like Victor Mansoret is down, but the referee was waiting for the ball to go out of play before anyone can get across to him.
Yeah, and unless it's a head injury, the referee really doesn't have any onus on him to have to stop the play. Richmond don't have to put that ball out.
Looks like Warra has come all the way up to have a look at Mansoret. In the meantime, it's going to be a Richmond corner, and Brian Shriver is over at the far side looking to whip an in-swinger in as soon as Bobby Weisenberger from MUSC Health takes a look at Mansoret. Mike Anhauser on your screen there.
I think he just wants an explanation from the referees about why the game wasn't stopped earlier, and rightly so.
Shriver over there on your screens. We'll just take a look at that. Replay is brought to you by Baker Roofing. Just a collision with Mansoret and Shriver. Just a couple of minutes prior to this. He is up and okay and off on the far side, out of your screen. The referee just having a word in the box. There looks to be some pushing and shoving going on. And about 2 minutes left of regular time here to play. Shriver over the dead ball. Shriver with the delivery to the near post, away by Woodbine. Mansoray comes back on, joins in the defence. A good challenge from Mansoray to make his way back on the field, but that's going to be another corner for the kickers.
It's a timely interception, and Shriver will want to make sure that this ball beats the first man. Wasn't able to do that the first time, but this will be an important set piece.
It's Thompson, this time punched away by Kuzminski. Mansoray on his feet. And he has got Okonkwo with him. Can Anunga find him? Okonkwo shouting at the top of his lungs. Rittmeyer says, there you go. Just a bit of miscommunication in the late going.
Yeah, and you can see what Nico was trying to do. They weren't on the same page. The run from Okonkwo was early, and then he sort of slowed down.
Battery will be looking to just keep the possession for the minute that's left to play, and any rate added on time. Warren again off his line. Shanosky. Direct ball through the middle. Out wide to Shriver. Shriver offside this time, but you've got to argue he's been all over the park tonight for the kickers.
He has, and after a quiet spell in the first 30 minutes or so, Shriver has sort of shown up and made himself known. Unlucky, you know, at this point to not have gotten himself on the score sheet, although Kuzminski has done fabulous back there in goal and really been solid between the pipes.
Well, we're hearing there's going to be 3 minutes of added on time here, and there's confirmation of that on your screens. Okonkwo wins the free kick from the challenge from Williams, and if you're a Battery player, that's just what you need.
Yeah, you kind of wait to hear what the referee will put up in terms of stoppage time. They know they're into the 91st minute at this point, and in no rush to put the ball back in play. They'll simply want to push these 3 minutes through and get to the end of it.
You can see the Jamaican O'Brien Woodbine taking it. A lot of MLS and international experience. Just telling the players to get up. This time it's Kelly. Back to Kuzminski. The kickers transitioning into the attack as they win the throw.
Well, you can't say it's for lack of effort from the Richmond kickers' perspective, because the second half for them was pretty positive. They'll leave tonight really with nothing to show for that effort, but they can take solace in the fact that their 45 minutes in the second half was actually very good, and probably unlucky, honestly, to not have gotten a goal back.
You're absolutely right, Christian. And on the other side, if you're Mike Hanhauser, you've got to be happy with all 3 points and a shutout if the scoreline remains the same.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be pleased with that. Coaches will always look to find little places where they can improve on their efforts. But when you look at the totality of the evening, the Battery has done what's needed.
It's into the box, blocked by Hackshaw. And Halvati recycle. A throw in for the kickers. We're going to see if we can catch up with Nico Rittmeyer after the game. So stay with us if we have time for that. We'll hear from him on his 2 goals tonight.
He'll be pleased. It's been a good performance from Nico, and certainly clinical in front of goal when he had those chances and really narrowly missed a third. This is good confidence for him going down into the latter half of the season.
Kuzminski with the lengthy goal kick. Flicked on by Okonkwo. Now Mansoray. Can he see Warren off his line? It looked like he was going to try and take a strike. This time we'll play it across to Woodbine. Woodbine just a bit too much on his touch. And Troyer intercepts and brings out the kickers.
Yeah, just a heavy touch there from Woodbine, but really looked like Mansoray was squaring up to see if he could have a go from distance, and in the end probably wisely held on to it and looked to play his teammate in.
It's not over by long shot here at the Battery. Looked like Williams to take the strike at the top of the box. Now Shinosky up into the attack. Hackshaw gets it away. And that is all we're going to see from MUSC Health Stadium for tonight's USL match. The Charleston Battery get a win against Richmond Kickers 3-0. And your goal scorers, Nico Rittmeyer for the first two, and Otula Garrett with his 12th goal this season and leads the Eastern Conference.
Something old and something new. You're used to seeing Otula Garrett banging in goals, but something new is that Nico Rittmeyer is now on the score sheet. Great evening for the black and yellow. If you're a Battery player or a Battery fan, you're happy about the performance and certainly taking 3 points away from it. I tell you, all is not lost for the Kickers, because I was pretty impressed with the final 45 minutes from them. They just have to be a little bit more focused and batten down the hatches in some of those moments.
What do you think has to be key to change for the Kickers as they head on Wednesday to take on defensively sound Pittsburgh Riverhounds?
Now, it's not an easy task to have to play on the road again at one of the top teams in the league. And certainly, honestly, it's a little bit of luck, Poppy, a little bit of luck here or there, and they'll find their ways. You kind of look at the highlights. You see Nico Rittmeyer smashing in his second there. Easy finish for number 13. Put the Battery up 2-0 just before the break. And what a ball from Archer to find Otula Garrett, but the defending was not great there, but a great finish from Garrett to put the Battery up 3-0 early in the second half.
A successful night for College of Charleston products, both Leland Archer with the assist and Nico Rittmeyer with the 2 goals. Let's see if we can get him on our headset and talk to him about tonight's match as he comes across to join us on the broadcast. Well, Nico, what a night for you. Your first professional goal, another goal for you, and a clean sheet for the team. Sum up how tonight was.
Oh, man, it was a hard-fought game. You know, we knew we had to, bring what we did in Pittsburgh and just, do the same at home. And, I was lucky to get on the score sheet tonight. So it was a good team win.
Nico, Christian Michener here. How much confidence does that give you to sort of bang in your first 2 goals as a professional? They were well taken. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, they were coming for a while. I, scored some scrimmages, and, it's good to finally get on the score sheet for real. So, credit. I had some good passes to my feet, so, I was lucky enough to put them away.
Otula Garrett with the 3rd goal. Christian Michener and I were just talking about what a great night it was for College of Charleston products with Leland Archer with the assist. How happy are you for the team, and how much confidence does this give them going forward?
Yeah, I mean, it just shows, we have a lot of guys that can score goals, so, we're going to need it from everyone. So hopefully we can keep it up into the next one down in Tampa.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Nico. Enjoy the win and enjoy your night.
All right, thank you very much.
Heard from the goal scorer with 2 goals tonight, Nico Rittmeyer. Christian, a very, very happy Nico Rittmeyer at that.
He should be. It's a breathe a sigh of relief to sort of see the ball fly into the back of the net as an attacking player, and he was all over the field tonight for the Battery. Really, really should be happy. Very impressed with his work rate. He wasn't the only one in the black and yellow tonight that had a good performance, but certainly with 2 goals, very clinical.
3-0 Charleston Battery. That's all we have time for here at MUSC Health Stadium. On behalf of Poppy Miller, Christian Michener, and the entire broadcast crew, have a fantastic night. We'll see you next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.